Good news is I'm almost done rambling. We're going to go through these workshop problems. We're going to do 4 problems from the notes. And then I'm done talking and it's all you. What do you think? Okay. Last week I was super nice. Even if your group ended the week, there was a group in here that ended the week with 24 points. I gave you the full 25. I know. I gave you the full 25. This week, not so much. We now know how it works. You're going to have to actually participate in order to make sure your group gets your points. Saying all that, someone want to help me with number 1? Say it again.
I thought it was, I put it was a hole.
Okay, so I got a hole. Okay, I got I heard a lot of naturals. I got natural too because why? Okay, table 2 can get the point. Nick said square root of 144 is actually 12, which is a natural number that you can count. We're going for the smallest subset. So yes, is it also a whole number? Yes, it's also an integer and all the other things, but we're going for the smallest. We've gotten lazy now. Okay, number 2, 0.44. Table 3 gets the point, and they said both the letter and the term, so this is rational. Why do I not put R? What does R stand for? Table 1 gets the point. Okay, for another extra point just floating out there in life, can you explain why this is rational? Yes, dear. Why? No one last period can come up with that word. It terminates, and you get your point. Since the decimal is terminating, if it's either terminating or it has a pattern, so it's repetitive, you get to put the Q. Otherwise, you get to put I because it is irrational. Okay, number 3. Ooh, someone said irrational and someone said integer.
What integer?
Table 2 gets the point for integer. What is negative 135 over 3? Negative 45, so it is an integer. Okay, why are these coming up on the math workshops when we just took a quiz on them and we're taking a test and this is on the test on Friday? You missed it because you missed it on the quiz. Most people, if they made mistakes, they made a mistake in this. How? They got tricked. They forgot to simplify that fraction and see if they had been tricked. They forgot to, if it was a fraction like 2 over 9, they forgot to type it in their calculator and make sure it didn't have a repeating pattern. And guess what? It did. So you got tricked. And then number 4, table 3 was first. They were yelling out W for the win. The only time I ever get to put W is when it's 0. I get that any natural number is also a whole number. We're just going for the smallest subset right now. Okay, I'm going to do these all by myself. And I'm already needing help. Someone wants to help me. I pulled a U. Please tell me what it should be. I know how to do it from here, but I have made a mistake. Can someone fix my mistake? Yes. I did not do 5 times 7. What should that term say? Okay, and table 3 gets another point. And now I will do what table 2 wants, and I will combine my like terms. 5Q, 16Q, I get 21Q. 35, negative 2, I get 33R. Okay, some of us, we did what Ms. Compton did. We did not distribute well on our test. And then some of us try to make combining like terms too hard. If we're not crossing an equal to sign, you seriously just get to add them together. 35, negative 2, 33. 5, 16, 21. You're making your life overly complicated, and it's not. Yes, ma'am?
Does it matter that the Q is in front of the R?
Elemental P, Q, R. No. I like to go in alphabet order, but no. And yes, I had to say the alphabet out loud. Yes. Okay, on number 6, I distribute that negative 9. I get negative 54M plus 27 I distribute that 6. I get plus 6 plus 24m. When I combine my like terms, 1 is my final answer.
Negative 30m plus 36.
1 and 2 can get a point. Negative 30m plus 33. Okay, are there any questions on the math workshop? If you were trying to get ahead, which is wise, tomorrow we're gonna we're gonna do a lot. We're gonna do 7, 8, 9, and 10. Tomorrow we're doing 7 through 10. Okay, on your way through the door, you picked up notes. You picked up notes. And then you were confused because on the back of the notes you see a study guide. Don't be confused. I'm being nice and giving you the study guide way, way, way early. Now, do I expect Cooper to go home tonight and work on this? Not. I get he has other homework from me even. So no. I just thought if he wanted to, he could. However, he doesn't know this about me, so I'm going to tell him this. The day before the test, that's all we're going to do is the study guide. So Thursday, all we're going to do is the study guide. Now, would it be smart of Tylen to go ahead and do some of the problems so she could ask me, like, hey, what's number 7? Or, hey, can you explain how to do number 11? That would be smart. Worst comes to worst, I post the keys to the study guide Thursday afternoon. So even if Justice has an off week, he can always check his answers Thursday afternoon when he gets home. Now, you're like, Miss Compton, you're being way too nice. You're giving us the key and everything? Oh, you think I'm so nice? If you don't turn in your study guide on Friday, you're going to be mad because I put it in the 30% category. Because seriously, all you had to do was copy my stuff. So I put it in the 30% category. Did Anne-Marie do the study guide? She did it all. All the points for Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie forgot to turn in the study guide. Anne-Marie's lost her points. She's not going to do that. I know that. She's not going to do that. Okay, as for the notes, we are going to avoid absolute value bars today. So we're not going to do 5 through 8. We'll save them for tomorrow. Today we're only going to do 1 through 4. We are, perfect question, we are not going to be lazy like we were last week. We're actually going to graph these on the number line. We're going to start with number 1. Can someone tell me the word that was added to our learning target? Who said it? Was it you, Jax? I thought so. Good. Add a point. Okay, so all we're adding is the word compound, and all that means for us is we're going to do 2 things at once. Okay, if this was a normal problem and you were trying to get y by itself, what would you do first? You would add 7 to both sides. With a compound thing, you have to add 7 to the left and to the right. You have to add it to everyone. So I have 15 is less than 3y is less than or equal to 30. Are there any questions about this? Are we done? Is y by itself? Until y is by, it's just like what we've been doing in that. Until the variable's by itself, we're not done. How do I get y by itself? Let's divide by 3. Every group can add a point. We're going to have 5 is less than y is less than or equal to 10. Great. That is our answer because y is by itself. But we also need to graph this answer. So I'm going to draw me a quick little number line and go from 5 to 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It does not have to be perfect or beautiful. Okay, so as a reminder, when you graph a number line, since we're starting at 5, I'm going to put a circle at 5. Since we're ending at 10, I'm going to put a circle at 10. Does anyone remember when you get to fill in the circle? Yes, so I'm going to give it 2, 3, 2, and 5. Okay, so it's equal to, so I fill it in and pretend. I don't see an equal to sign. You know, we just copied them the whole time. It was less than, it was less than, it was less than. Since it doesn't say less than or equal to right here, I'm not going to color in the 5. But the 10 has that extra line, the equal to, so that's why I get to color it in. And then I also get to shade in between 5 and 10. Now, if you're, you know, I'm a color person, so mine's super colorful. Even if you're not using colors, as long as it's a little bolder in your shaded region, I can tell. I can tell. And you're like, Miss Compton, this looks ridiculous. But this is actually more useful than that to me. This is telling us, hey, any number between 5 and 10 is an answer for us, is in our solution set. For instance, 6.5 is an answer. 7.2, 8.9. Anything between 5 and 10, but not including the number 5. 5 is not an answer. 5.1 is an answer. 5 is not an answer. So shading it kind of helps us see anything in here is a solution set. Okay, I'm going to skip around. Let's go to, are there any questions about number 1? Let's go to number 4. First thing we're going to do on number 4, let's add 8 to everybody. For a point, can someone tell me the next line? You can have a point. Okay, you know what to do next. So can someone tell me the line after this? Less than or equal to what?
8.
How many points do y'all have?
2.
You and Jax's group can have a point. Do y'all need points, Ellie, or do you have at least 3? Okay, that's what I thought. So we're gonna let them have it since you did contribute with the 8, but we're gonna let them have it. So basically, Cooper's laughing at me because I lied. I'm still being very nice with points. I know. He'll love me anyway. Okay, so we divided everyone by 3. -6 divided by 3 was -2. 24 divided by 3 was 8. Here's our final answer. Now we're going to graph our little number line. I'm going to go from -2 to 8. Okay. So I go to the -2. I go to the 8. I get to fill in one of these bubbles. I get to fill in the -2. I don't get to fill in the 8 because it wasn't equal to. It's just less than. And I'm going to shade everywhere in between. Because any answer between -2 and 8 is part of our solution set. Okay, are there any questions about number 4? Last about the change. What changes on number 2? There's a word or in between. So or makes life more fun, I think. I saved those 2 for the end because I think they make life more fun. Okay, so on an or, we're just going to solve one problem at a time. So the first thing I would do with that left problem is add 6. So let's add 6. And I would have G is greater than -5. Is everyone good with that? Hey, that's kind of what we were doing on Friday. And then if I were to cover that up and just deal with the right problem, I would subtract 4 and have 2G is less than -19. And when I divide by 2, I would get G is less than -19 over 2. So I solved one problem in green, I solved the other problem in pink, and somehow they're supposed to be connected because of that silly word or. Someone last period asked, is it important to, at the end, write it all together? You can if you want to. But if Anne-Marie has this work, and she has her number line, I kind of already see her answer. She doesn't have to be this particular unless she just is that person. Okay, now when we graph our number line, I'm actually going to do it a little different than what we've been doing. For our first example, or even our second example, it started at -2, it went to 8. So on my number line, I went from -2 to 8. On this one, I need to go a little beyond that. So I know I need -5, but I'm even going to put -4 on it too. The good news is that workbook assignment you have for tonight, the page 11, 9 through 14, they already give you the number line. Okay, so I got -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, and since I've got so much room, I'll keep going, -11. And I get that -5 is here, but where on earth is -19/2? How do you know it's in between 9 and 10? Okay, so Nick he changed this to a decimal, and he said, so it's really G is less than -9.5. Again, Miss Compton thinks in fractions. I knew that -20/2 was -10. I knew that -18/2 was -9. So that's why I knew it was between -9 and 10. Either way, we're right. If you want to write in 19/2 near it so you know what it is, I totally get it. I need to add my negative. Okay, before we go crazy, am I going to get to fill in any circles on this one? No, there's no equal to's. Let's do one thing at a time. So G is greater than -5. If G is greater than -5, do you shade to the right or to the left? Okay, as a reminder, if you're not sure, because it's been a while, what do you call this? What do you call that symbol? What letter does it start with? And so it probably goes with which way? Yes, it does. So as a reminder, less than symbol, that's when we shade to the left. We don't have a less than symbol, do we? We have a greater than symbol. So we're actually going to shade to the right. And as we were discussing on Friday, if you multiply or divide by a negative, what do you do with your inequality sign? You flip it. So if Daniel forgets to flip his sign, and he was supposed to, when he graphs his answer, it was supposed to be a less than, he's shading a greater than. His answer is going to be wrong. Just a nice little reminder. Okay, so we've graphed this left part, the G is greater than -5. We got to graph the right part, G is less than -19/2. And I like to even shade in the arrows because I'm lazy, and when I shade in the arrows, that kind of signifies like, and my answers would keep on going. I'm just too lazy to make my number line bigger. And so what's really cool about our graph is that we got stuff shaded to the left end, we got stuff shaded to the right end, but this middle is empty. So it looks exactly like the opposite of our previous two graphs. On our previous two graphs, all we shaded was the middle. And now this graph, we're shading everything but the middle. And you're like, Ms. Compton, why is that happening? Because with this solution set, we're saying anything less than -19/2 is an answer choice. Anything bigger than -5 is an answer choice. But anything in between, that's not a solution. So for instance, -7, not a solution. So that blank space shows us where not to pick the answer. It's not going to be any of these things. Okay, are there any questions on that? We're going to do it one more time with number 3 because it's another or. So We add 17. We add 17. Good look, grief. Let's calm down. We add 1. 6y is greater than 18. Divide by 6. Divide by 6. Y is greater than 3. Writing the answer. That's always good. We add 6. We have 8y is less than or equal to negative 4. So I have y is less than or equal to negative 4 over 8. Someone help me reduce. Ellie, your group can have the point. That was you, wasn't it? I know your voice. I don't know a lot of voices all the time, but I know yours. And then if you want Anne-Marie's particular, so Anne-Marie's going to write this. Y is greater than 3, or y is less than or equal to negative 1/2. Cooper's more like a, let's just get to the point kind of guy. So it's okay if he stops there, doesn't have this box, and just goes straight to his number line. Totally understand. Okay, are there any questions about the green or pink math? It's pretty straightforward. Kind of like the problems we were doing on Friday, except you're having to do 2 at once. Okay, so we're going to make us a number line. And I'm going to go, let's see, I know I need, I'll do 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Now, I'm really surprised that no one in here has asked, do you have to count by ones on your number line? No. If you would rather count by twos or halves or whatever, you can. It's your number line. Okay, I go to 3, I put an open circle. Where is negative 1/2? Okay, 2 can have your point. And if you want to write in negative 1/2 here, and draw like an arrow so they know what it is, you can. I get to fill in the negative 1/2 bubble because why? It's got that equal to. Table 5 can have their point. It's got that equal to. Okay, so my first option is y is bigger than 3, so everywhere above 3 I'm going to shade. I'm going to shade to the right of 3. And then my second part, after the or, says y is less than or equal to negative 1/2. So everything under negative 1/2, everything less than that, I'm going to shade in. So again, we're saying anything to the left is our solution, anything to the right is our solution. But if you pick 0, 1, 2, 3, or any of the little values in between, like 1.7, you're going to be wrong. That's not part of our solution set. Okay, are there any questions about this? You've got plenty of time, and my God, you've got things to do. If you want to come show me the homework from last Friday, show me the checkpoint from last Friday,